After Arizona passed a mandatory E-Verify law in 2007, remember that law? Lots of illegal aliens left the state. They headed back across the border. Mexican officials were outraged at the burdens imposed on them by these immigrants, that is, by the return of their own citizens. Quote, a delegation of 9 state legislators from Sonora, Mexico, was in Tucson to say Arizona's new employer sanctions law will have a devastating effect on the Mexican state. At a news conference, the legislators said Sonora, Arizona's southern neighbor, made up of mostly small towns, cannot handle the demand for housing, jobs, and schools it will face as illegal Mexican workers here return to their hometowns without jobs or money. Oh, the pain. Krikorian says, thinking of our own small towns dealing with these very problems as a result of Mexican government policy, I have to fight back Schadenfreude when I read this sort of thing. Along these lines, the recent Associated Press story about President Calderon complaining that we in America are deporting Mexican criminals back to Mexico, a complaint that takes some real huevos, since they're his own people, had this nugget at the end of the story. Quote, Rafael Fernandez de Castro, head of the International Relations Studies at Monterrey Technological Institute, told the conference that about 200,000 Mexicans per year are returning to their country, and the Mexican schools are facing a problem. Tens of thousands of Mexican children are coming back each year with little or no Spanish. In the last couple of school years in Mexico, literally tens of thousands of children have turned up with last names like Sanchez, Fernandez, or Hinojosa, and it must be said, I'm quoting, they don't speak Spanish. They speak English, Fernandez de Castro said. We have to ask California and Texas how they managed to integrate these Mexican children who went to the United States and didn't speak English, unquote. Now, Krikorian writes, he overestimates our success in integrating them. More likely, they don't speak English at all that well either, being products of alingual education. In other words, he's saying they're illiterate in 2 languages. I just thought the irony, in fact, the contemptible irony of Mexican officials complaining about the return of their own citizens and the impact that it has on their society, their infrastructure, the costs, is really pathetic, absolutely sickening, and it underscores exactly what the hell's going on.